Now that we've taken a look at the project description, what our project is about, we want to start by setting up our environment, making sure that it's set up in a way that's going to be efficient for what we are going to create. Because of the tabbed interface in Unity, it's very simple to create a new layout and then simply save that layout in our option on the top right. So let's start off by going, we're going to be working with assets, a handful of assets. If we look at the bottom here on this general layout that comes as default, we don't have quite enough space to really work with lots of assets in the hierarchy or in the project. So we need a bit more of a vertical approach for this. And let's also make a little bit more of a separation. Let's go ahead and just say we're going to have our project tab, and let's go ahead and take our hierarchy tab and just left click, drag, move it next to it, and set it up here. This way we have the major parts and pieces of our project, our hierarchy next to our scene, and our inspector on the right hand side with our information. You can also just set the hierarchy on the side, so if you're dragging and dropping objects into the inspector, it makes it nice and easy as well. Again, this is completely, what is my preference? What is the purpose, the goal of what I'm trying to create? If I'm doing particles inside of Unity, I may have an entire different layout for particles. If I'm doing purely scripting inside of Unity, I'll have a different layout just for scripting. Now, once we get the layout that we want, and let's go ahead and add one more piece to our little puzzle here. Let's go into our window. We're going to add our console. We're going to pull our console down. And let's dock it right down here at the bottom. So we've got the major pieces that we need. Now we are going to be bouncing back and forth. Every time we hit play on our player tools, we bounce into the game mode. And we don't really have an option to see the scene view at the same time. A lot of times during development, the scene view is just as important as the game view. And for our development, it's actually a little bit more important. So we're going to go ahead and take our game view. We could dock it on the side here and split the view, but I'm going to take it down here to the bottom. I'm just going to dock it in here. We really don't need that much space for our game view. The next thing I want to do is go ahead and set up the viewing range for our game view. Instead of the free aspect, we're going to set it just a standalone 1024 by 768. That way we have a nice controlled little space to work with. Okay, so our layout looks pretty good. It gives us what we need, the size and the space that we need. The last thing we can do is save this layout so that we can always come back to it. So go to our layout button. We're going to go save layout. And in the save window layout option, we can type in whatever it is we want. So this is going to be our game layout. We'll save that one. If you go back up to your layouts, you'll see that it's now loaded in there. And we can always go back to that one at any point in time. And this is where you can easily go in. You could have one that is set up for particles, one for code, one for tree creation, one for physics, whatever it might be. You can quickly go in, change out those layouts, nice and easy. Okay, with the layout set up, the next thing we want to do is actually just start creating the parts and the pieces that we're going to need for our actual game project.